because I can hide it.
Hello, Internet! It is I,
Hey, do I get to
Sneaky
have my
Devil.
angry rant about Warcraft this week?
I mean, you could have had it last week, but you just didn't.
Because we had actual talented guests on the show. Plus,
I
cool.
mean, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Firing shots at Cruel.
But it
Oh,
is
We're not even
please.
2 minutes in.
Sneaky Devil, and I'm here to bring to you Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9001. So let us begin. Now, so we're gonna start today off with a Fate Stay Night story, brought to you by Zex. Once more, brought to you by Zex, or well, at least the Discord that I'm getting on my fanfiction from.
Oh, what? You're just sourcing it to another Discord. You don't even do it yourself anymore.
I mean, why put effort in if you're getting it done for free?
Alright, that's fair enough.
Very American.
The new background looks fancy. Thank you. I made it myself. Anyway. New background sucks. Yeah.
Then,
Do you know what my background is?
I did. Oh god! Oh god. Why did Crowbar have to send that to us?
Because I had to make my own, because the one she sent was absolute shit.
What did she send him?
She sent me like this thumbnail-sized bonfire lit Dark Souls over the burning Tendrasil tree.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yes,
and,
yes.
And so I made a 10K resolution picture version of it.
Nice.
Because, of course.
Because you're you.
I have a background in journalism, yes. Alright. Before we begin, I am required by the guidelines of these streaming platforms to remind you all, don't contact the authors featured here unless we bring them on. Then at that point, they're basically giving you permission. But until then, don't do it because that's harassment. I'd get in trouble, you would get in trouble, and we don't want that. Did you get a chance to check out the link? I'm experiencing lots of physical pain. I'm subjecting myself to mental torture. What's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. You're doing everything right.
Don't lie to them. Please don't lie to them like that.
Alright, so you do realize this is by the author of Man Off the Moon. Is it? Because I did not like Man Off the Moon.
What is
So-
Man Off?
Man Off the Moon is a fate. I just took medicine for this. Why do you do this to me? Anyway, Man Off the Moon is a Fate Extra Mass Effect crossover in which the Moon Cell teleports itself into the Mass Effect universe with the rest of the universe unaware of the Moon Cell existing there now.
Okay.
And then it sends
Moon
Emiya.
Cell's a dick.
And then it sends Emiya to go to Mars to investigate the Prothean ruins, in which he is then picked up by the Alliance and becomes Shepard.
You what?
Yeah,
I see.
I didn't like it. So, this is his other story. So this is Tomomono, the fox woman
Yeah.
from the Fate and Japan's lore. Something with a sun or something like that. I don't fucking know. Hey, she's a fox lady. She wants to be a housewife / have babies? ? That's her motivating plan in the Fate story.
I never bothered looking
No,
too close.
Tamamo. Yeah, she's a piece of Amaterasu or some shit, and she just wants to be a good housewife. She's also a kind of overpowered caster.
I assume she only exists because of, like, Grand Order or some shit.
No, she exists because of Extra.
Oh, it was
on
from
for a
Extra as
while.
well? Okay. So
Yeah.
anyway. This
No,
is
she's
a
a
one-shot. So, no worries if this is bad or not. But this is a one-shot. It's only 787 words long.
Then why are we looking at it?
It's a one-shot.
Someone linked it, and I was like, this is probably shit, because I saw the fucking title. So, maybe if it's not shit, we can just go right into another shit story, and it'll be like getting out of a really nice hot tub and getting into a pool that someone just peed in.
That's a very specific example, sir.
You're talking from experience, Sneaky.
Look, man, public pools are fucking something.
What public pool has a fucking hot tub?
Hotel pools?
Okay, yes, I wouldn't count that as a public pool.
Okay, yeah, but it's still a pool used by the greater public.
Yes, but public pool makes me think small children in the park district.
I mean, okay, that's fair enough, but it doesn't mean there can't be small children at this pool.
No, but the number of small children is greatly reduced, so you have to drown fewer of them.
Indeed. Anyway, so on to this story. Desperate Foxwife. Tononomonomo has won Ultimate Housewife Life Get. But something isn't right. The front door closed. Tomomonomono perked up, her ears twitching as she realized he was back. Dialing down the heat on the stew, she wiped her hands clean. Not on the apron, of course not. That had to be pristine white for her immaculate appearance, after all. A perfect housewife's image was to remain wholly unstained, regardless of what she was doing, at all times. She had turned on her heels and skipped to the door. It had been a month since she won the Holy Grail War, needs to be capitalized, and made her wish. Lacking a proper master, she had to play dirty and cheat. But through copious amounts of luck and trickery, she had emerged victorious. The fact that she managed to gain 4 taels worth of power without losing herself had also helped. And so her wish of ultimate housewife life had been granted. "Welcome home, darling," she piped up, coming to a sliding halt by the front door. There, her husband, clad in his usual working clothes, his white hair sticking every which way. Oh, god damn it!
What?
It's fucking Shiro!
Oh my god, he's right.
Oh, you're right. I need to fix this title. There you go. Title has been fixed. Shiro, the main antagonist and protagonist. Fucking time travel, man. Anyway, Shiro is the main protagonist of, like,
Well, Sneaky,
half
not
of
just
the
time
fate.
travel, alternate dimensions.
Alternate universe time travel, indeed. He is Dick Girl extraordinaire. Do not lie to him, Isley. Shiro is a man. And so, in fact, he's such a manly man, he has armor chiseled with abs. My suffering continues with every day I live. "I'm back," he said, smiling as he set down his briefcase. She almost swooned again, seeing his warm eyes locked onto hers. "Would you like dinner, or a bath, or perhaps me?" she purred, crossing her hands demurely as she looked away from him. "Speaking of the bath, did you brush your tail in the sink again?" Perhaps," she admitted, realizing he had complained about it once before already, but she had been fantasizing yesterday and had forgotten all about it. Momomomo, we'll call the repairman to take a look at the— "Oh no, I already handled it this morning," he answered with a smile, "and I took the liberty of buying you a new brush too. Your old one's getting a bit weathered. I also found some new conditioner that might be perfect for you since you were worried about split ends. I think you'll like the scent too." She blinked once, twice. "Mikan, You're so thoughtful, darling. Tomomomomo will have to reward you later. No, it's the least I can do. Emiya shook his head, smiling at her, and her entirely missing her implication. It's my pleasure. Oh, and about dinner. I brought some of your favorites again along the way from work. Raising a bag, her ears perked up at the sounds of the contents. I'm not even trying to pronounce that. I'm assuming it's eel, because it has a nari in it. She jumped forward, the dinner preparations all but forgotten as she opened the box, happily devouring the contents. Emiya smiled and patted her head as he watched. There was a niggling sense of annoyance as the inari being mentioned, but that was merely the Konjiki Hakumen complaining in the back of his head. You want to say something?
No, I have no idea.
I just got
what's
nothing.
going on at this point. I don't know why this is continuing. Like, I guess it's meant to
Okay,
be
that's
fluff,
fair,
but-
Isling.
Eh.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm about as lost as everyone watching this, so don't worry. There's a reason why I don't get too involved in the fate section. It's just like, I don't know half of these things that they're referencing. Shit. Tomomomomomomo frowned, sitting up. She had fallen asleep, she realized. Oh no, the food. She realized abruptly that he had already prepared the rest of it and set the table. Rubbing her eyes, she sat up. I must have dozed while he was brushing me. Dinner's about ready, and I drew a bath. We can go afterwards if you'd like, he said, patting her on the head, as he set the last of the food on the dinner table. Oh. She almost teleported to the table, smelling dinner. Somehow the scent was different, and realized he had taken over again and made changes to the dish. She knew his palate completely inside and out, but he always insisted on making something she liked as well, even if it strayed from his exact preferences. She had been adamant at first, but recently she was realizing she didn't quite want to argue back anymore. The food was that good. Let's dig in, he said, sitting down. As they began to eat, a niggling thought entered her mind again. When she had made the wish to the Holy Grail, it had decided to grant her life as the ultimate housewife, or it had granted her the ultimate housewife. She glanced at her husband and Miyashiro with suspicious eyes for a moment. It doesn't matter, she thought, happily eating. Even if she had wanted to pamper someone else, maybe being pampered like this wasn't so bad. Okay, so that wasn't actually bad at all. I am shocked, frankly. But, yeah. Miyashiro is, in fact, the ultimate housewife.
Yeah. He
So
really
far,
is.
this isn't bad, and at least the grammar's fine.
Yeah. I was expecting something a lot worse. That just goes to show you, kids. Be careful
Calvin,
about your titles.
Yeah. Calvin apparently didn't like it.
Yeah. That story was shit. That's because it didn't go anywhere and it didn't offer any entertainment. Honestly, I would not have read this normally. Even like, because it's 787 words and completed, I probably wouldn't have even bothered with it. Because it's just like, I don't like drabbles. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, everything was nice. Oh no, a bad thing happened. It's like, okay, and? I guess it's because it reminds me of, like, the stories my sister would tell at the dinner table. That are just like, okay, what's the point of your story? Why are you telling us this information? She's like, oh, I just wanted to share it. It's like, that you literally just went over and did something. Nothing happened in the story that makes it worth retelling. You didn't meet anyone. You didn't learn anything. You imparted nothing to us. We aren't even entertained by what happened. Why are you telling us this? That is this story in a nutshell. I guess if you're a really big Extra fan, this might be amusing to you. Any input there, Max? Because I know you're bigger a fan of Fate than I am.
No, I got nothing. Like like I said, this clearly is fluff, and this
Calvin.
is clearly only meant for people who've actually been through Extra, and presumably Extra CCC as well. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. And
maybe if I was more attached to Momo, I'd be like, oh, good for her. But, like, yeah, as it
like I said,
stands,
it's a drabble that does nothing. It's like, oh, like the big reveal was the husband being Emiya, and it's like I know exactly where this is gonna go the second Emiya was revealed, because Emiya is the ultimate housewife.
yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just a really long joke, because the punchline is, oh, she got the ultimate housewife. She didn't become the ultimate housewife. Isn't that so funny? It only took 787 words to tell you that punchline. At least it wasn't a Naruto harem fic. Oh, jeez. Well, I guess we have to rectify that.
Oh God, no.
Let's see. Naruto and Ruby. Oh, hello. Nora's a mommy. I am immensely worried.
God. No.
Here's Nora. That's Nora. Explosions Hammer Girl. Also, her hair isn't pink.
This should be bad. I can't wait to see Sneaky get genuinely upset because Nora's like the only character he likes.
Okay, no, look. I've read this story before specifically because Nora was mentioned, okay? And I got like halfway through the first chapter and was just like, fuck this garbage! And got irrationally angry over it. So you're about to see me get irrationally angry and drunk over it now. Sneaky has a crush. No, I have a waifu. There's a difference there. One is unattainable. So is everyone mentally prepared for what's about to happen?
Nope.
All right. Good. Thank you for your objections and or agreements to this.
I literally just said no.
No, you didn't say anything. Nora, while
Still
rummaging
initiating,
around the
right?
Beacon Academy kitchen for late night snacks, finds something in the cupboard that changes her whole life. I want to point out this has 1.6 thousand favorites. This is a Naruto Ruby crossover.
Yeah, good for it.
Yeah. I kind of want to stab myself in the throat from this. It was a late night as one Nora Valkyrie wandered the halls of Beacon Academy on a mission. Nora was a short girl with bright orange hair, and I don't know why I'm describing characters to a story fandom that is obsessed with them. It's almost like I'm a shit author. This mission she was on was one of great importance, a matter of life and death, and nothing was of higher priority than her current task, which, if you haven't picked up on yet, was an exceedingly mundane one. Absolutely nothing would stop her from completing such an important task. What is this mission, you might wonder? She needs pancakes. She was hungry. She was currently on her way to the kitchen to make herself a late-night snack, as she had already eaten her emergency pancakes, and Ren was asleep at the moment to make some for her. That was fine, though. She could make some herself. It wasn't like she couldn't cook for herself. Flashback to a giant explosion and everything burning. And Ren's just like, I just wanted you to boil water. End flashback. So the author's trying to be humorous here, indicating that Nora is ignoring the fact that she can't cook at all. And they're doing this by a poorly set up punchline that has no point in being there. Because as this is from a third-ish person perspective, directly from the character's point of view, there's no real reason for the flashback to be there, because it's not like she's remembering the flashback. The flashback was specifically inserted in there for the readers. Not because Nora was remembering it. It's inserted there for the readers, so the readers can get the punchline. And because I'm explaining the joke, it makes it not funny, you would think, right? But the joke wasn't funny in the first place, because it had to be explained for you to understand why the fuck a flashback was there. Now you know why I was so angry with this story.
Yeah, I'm starting to get an inkling.
There is no tears here. Speaking as a professional by necessity cook, it's entirely possible to explode water. Yes, I'm aware of that, Isley. Except I can't boil water. I burn it. I don't know how. Whenever I try to boil water, it just evaporates. So, yeah. Wandering through the darkened halls of Beacon all by herself was a bit boring, as she had nobody to talk to, and the author couldn't fill up the space with dialogue. So the character began to talk to themselves, singing, "I'm Queen of the Castle." A single line said in, what, the second episode? First episode? That has been memed to oblivion in the Ruby community.
Yeah, it made a comeback at the start of season 2 during the food fight. And she yells it during their tournament match. I think.
Yes. Yeah,
Still,
she gets on
she
top of
said
the
it
rock.
3 times.
Well, at that point, since it's mentioned in every season, Atin, clearly it's something she just sings all the time. And it's not some sort of reoccurring gag. Anyway, so she gets into the kitchen, breaks into it, finds the fridge, pulls it open. What do you use to make pancakes again? She asked herself while scratching her head. Nah, that's fair enough, actually. I don't know how to make pancakes out of scratch. I know, I'll just look it up. She reached for her pocket for a scroll, only to find it missing. Oh, must have left it on my nightstand, she thought sheepishly, and then pouted.
And now she's locked out of her dorm room. Good job.
Yes. That means I'll have to use a cookbook, but books are boring. Oh, wow. Get ready for the humor. Oh, God. It's killing me. But seriously, like, I just took medicine to suppress coughs, and I'm still fucking coughing. Hello, Arn. We're watching Nora raise a child.
What? Oh, yeah.
Anyway, get ready for it! Get ready for it! Here comes the crossover! This is what 1.6 thousand people favorited! She shuffled over to where the non-perishables were stored. When she got closer, though, she paused when she noticed the door was partially open and she could hear soft crunching sounds coming from inside. She peered into the doorway to see, are those tails? Nora asked herself as she gazed at the fluffy appendages lazily swaying through the air. There were 9 of them in total, dark red in color with light blonde ends. Each individual one had a different colored tint at the end of it. Red, orange, yellow, green,
There
blue,
were
purple, light blue, white, and brown that glowed ever so slightly. Following the tails to the source, Nora was further surprised to see them all connected to a single person. A young faunus boy of maybe 7 or 8 years old, with messy blonde hair with red tips, wearing a tattered black shirt that hung off his frame. He was clutching a glowing red crystal in his hand that she easily recognized as burn dust. Wondering what he was going to do with it, he began to eat it. Oh my god, spit that out! Reacting without thinking, she burst into the room screaming, causing the boy to snap his head in her
Can
direction.
y'all hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Porn would be more interesting than this. I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm sorry, what did they say?
The chat does not like where this is going. So, are you ready for nine-tailed fox faunus Naruto with the power of every dust at his tail tips?
Bye, Calvin.
Bye, Galvin. Because that's what's about to happen. And then he swallowed the burned crystal, and she tried to induce vomiting by sticking her hand down his throat, but was stopped when she felt a strong shock run through her body. Not affected to it, and even stronger now because of resemblance, her reason for stopping was due to the fact electricity was coming from the boy. He was giving off static that shorted out nearby electronics and caused explosions when it hit miscellaneous dust crystals. Why the fuck are dust crystals being kept in the kitchen?
That's clearly the best place to keep them.
Clearly, they're keeping fire dust crystals there so that they can, cook better.
Now we get some Shota quasi-incest puke smut. No. For cooking. Yes, I mean, maybe they do use dust for cooking, you're right. That seems a bit silly to me.
Well, I mean, I have seen that a couple of times in, like, oh yeah, we can use dust for spices and cooking, and it's like, well, I guess since dust infusion is
Okay,
a
I was saying
thing,
use like a dust crystal to power the oven. Jesus, people.
I don't think they'd be using a fire crystal for that, Atin. Considering those don't so much burn as they do explode.
Okay, again. What in the fuck are you going to be cooking with exploding dust bombs? Terrorism souffle?
The world's fastest flambe. That's what.
I mean, I could see them keeping it around for going fishing, but
Fishing the Vale way? Just
fishing the southern way. Throw it in and get what comes up. Sure, it basically pulps the innards and probably makes half of it unedible, but it's a principle.
I mean, real men just knife crocodiles and alligators, you know.
You know, it works just as well.
Shooting
TNT
them.
down the throat.
Yeah, but you want the skin. You don't want to turn it into crocodile a la chunk.
You know what? Those bits of croc are going to be immediately cooked and probably taste fantastic with a little seasoning.
Croc jerky is actually really tasty.
When
Anyway.
did you have the opportunity to eat crocodile jerky, dude?
I also had alligator jerky.
During the hurricane, didn't he have to evacuate to the other side of Florida? And some guys give us $5, we'll give you some Gatorade, alligator jerky, and some secret sauce or something.
Yeah. It wasn't jerky, it was alligator chunks, deep fried.
Ah, okay, yes.
What kind of sauce is this? It's the sauce. You don't speak English, do you? No, senor. Okay, sure, give me the sauce.
my god. Oh god.
I will say that was some pretty good deep fried alligator chunks, though. God damn.
Sneaky, you didn't eat alligator. You ate people.
No.
Yes.
No, that place is actually known for their alligator.
Sure.
No, it's like in the news and shit.
Yeah. I'll be back in a few moments.
Anyway, back to this story. Anyway, so Naruto is doing a Pikachu and is shooting stuff everywhere, and now he's shooting ice everywhere, and now he's shooting fire, and now he's shooting wind at things and more electricity out of his mouth, and basically he's just expelling all the elements out of him. And so Naruto is trembling, and why isn't he dead? Please don't hurt me. I just wanted to eat some food. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. She found a large black sun-like tattoo on his belly. So not only is this supposed to be canon Naruto because he has the Kyuubi sealed in him, and if the Kyuubi is sealed in him, that means the Biju exists. And if the Biju exist, that means Naruto-verse on some level existed. But somehow he turned into a nine-tailed fox faunus that is dust-powered. He's basically a fucking Pokemon right now. I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page as me. Naruto is a Pokemon. We all clear on that?
No, because my connection crapped itself again, so I only heard like a quarter of what you said.
Naruto is a Pokemon.
I got that part. I didn't hear why.
Because he is a nine-tailed fox faunus that uses all of the elements as attacks.
Oh.
Yeah. Just remember, everyone, 1.6 thousand favorites. Anyway, so what are you doing? I'm making sure you're okay. Dialogue in the same paragraph. Sin number, I don't fucking know, 327. You know what? That's what I'm gonna start fucking doing. I'm gonna put a sin counter up. Whenever I get really angry
we're
about
just cinema sins now, are we?
No, we're not cinema sins because we're totally original content. Oh shit, we are cinema sins. I was saying that sarcastically. I know I can't get that well out through my coughing fits at the moment, but yeah, cinema sins is shit, and I guess we're shit, so I guess we're cinema sins, the knockoff. Fanfiction sins.
Really
there we
shitty knockoff.
go. Part Pokemon, part exploding dust. There are a fair few Naruto Pokemon smut fics. Okay, okay, I'm gonna be honest here. There is a single Pokegirl Naruto crossover fic by Kenshi. I believe it's by Kenshi. And it's not smut. To my knowledge, it's been about 4 or so years since I've read it. It's dead. It stopped updating. But there was no smut in it. And it was actually really clever. And I liked it. And I was like, why? Why is this only smut? Why are furries so degenerate? Oh man, I can't even.
I can't answer that question.
Okay. Just mild death. Don't worry, it'll pass over. Anyway. Okay. Whew. We're good here. Yeah. You ate an entire burn dust crystal. For Ohm's sake. You mean the spicy candy? You thought it was candy? Who told you it was candy? A nice man gave me a powdery candy that tasted like mint. He looked shocked after I ate it and left. Somebody tried to kill him by tricking him into eating ice dust. A. Nora associates mint with ice dust. I'm worried about this. B. Who the fuck does that? Hey, young orphan, have some dust to eat. What the fuck?
Look, I would agree with you, except hobo fights are a thing, Sneaky.
I'm sorry, what did
That's
I just
fair.
come back to?
So Pokemon Naruto, was someone tried to assassinate him by giving him ice dust to eat and told him it was candy.
Huh.
Actually, you know what? I am starting that counter because Jesus Christ, it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Hmm. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
No, honestly, I'm sure Kilm's just regretting that he's tolerated us for 8 months now.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Alright. Uh-huh. Minus, plus, 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 plus. Alright, so we're gonna start off at a solid 15 for this. Okay. Hey, thank you, Kilm, for your 8 months.
I thought we were starting at 300.
You know, that's fair enough. That's actually fair enough. That 300, that's a good number to start off at. Unfortunately, I can't. Oh, I can edit it. Excellent. 300 is a good number to
Good
start
for you.
off.
Why do we have this now?
Because I got mad.
Oh God. We better not have to pay royalties to those guys.
I doubt they're gonna
They
be able
can't
to force us.
copyright the concept of a sin counter. Like, they can concept it, they could copyright it maybe for movies, but I mean, I know there's a guy who does a thing called game sins. He's completely separate from them. He's 100% just lifting their idea, and he applies it to video games.
There are a couple of gaming sin channels out there, but I tried looking at the official one. Yeah, the one that actually got the name Gaming Sins. They're not very good.
Want me to give Sean a crash course on bimbofication?
Does she mean bimbofication?
Wait, what? Okay.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
are they talking about? I think they're. I hope they're not talking about what I think they're talking
two
about.
questions there. What the fuck and why?
Because the internet exists. You should know this.
Okay, just research, Sneaky. You do know what that is, right?
I mean, I'm gonna take an educated guess and assume it's just turn ex-girl thirsty.
Not as understanding is ex-male character into thirsty girl.
Atin, is someone downloading porn connection again?
No, it's just shitting the bed.
There are other channels that use it. They've never had an issue. Yeah. deciding to drop the matter for now, as it hadn't hurt him so far, then it likely wasn't going to. I'm gonna add a sin for that. What? That's...
Well, the radiation poisoning hasn't killed you yet, so I guess you can go ahead and keep drinking Monster Energy.
I mean... Nora is impulsive and random, but she can't be stupid. She makes custom grenades, for fuck's sake. Like...
I mean, in theory, she could be an idiot savant.
I mean, yes, that's possible, but she's a lot more socially capable than an idiot savant is.
You know, yeah, we've gotten looks to the veil that, like, she's far more intelligent than she lets on.
Yeah.
Like,
Has custom grenades made doesn't necessarily make them herself. No, I'm pretty sure there was that one Dust class where it showed her doing stuff.
there was no dust class.
Ruby and Weiss exploded?
The amount she possesses, she's got to make at least some of them herself. The rate at which she uses them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I don't remember if it was mentioned that Signal specifically does it, but there's an implication that, like, I'd say 9 out of 10 hunters you meet made their weapon themselves.
Yeah. And I can't imagine that custom ordering grenades that explode into a pink heart would be very... Yeah, cost effectiveness is kind of important for orphans. Yeah, so... Anyway. Here, how about I get you real food then? Wait, so the boy's just been subsisting off of dust this whole fucking time? Like...
That would be far more expensive than subsisting off food.
I just want to know, why does Nora know what ice dust tastes like?
Ah, that's another one. I said that earlier, but yeah, pretty much. Anyway, the boy's stomach roared in hunger once again. One more sin for that, because I hate that trope so fucking much.
Which trope? You're gonna need to be a little more specific.
Oh, I'm hungry. It's like, yes, because I've heard that happen so often to people.
Only time I've ever heard of stomach growling was my own.
The only time I've ever heard of stomach growling is when I'm about to have, like, explosive diarrhea or something. Because I ate something funky. Thanks, that one restaurant. Now I know what that feels like. They served me bad shrimp. So that was fun. Food poisoning is fun. Now you all know what that feels like. Anyway, as I was saying, anything is possible in Painland. Yeah, basically, I suppose. Anyway, so she gave him marshmallow flakes. With okay, see, by the way, I'm Nora. I'm Naruto. Nice to meet you, Naruto. Has he never used a spoon before, she noted, as she discreetly observed him. Observe her. Oh, wait. As she noted, as she saw him discreetly. Why is that? I mean, I guess it's implying that he's trying to be discreet about it, but it's like...
I believe that's what they're aiming for, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air quotes
seen
doesn't
that
quite
technique.
work in the narrative.
I've seen it used in narratives for, like, for published works.
I mean, I've used
That's
it
one of those things
before.
where you pick up on what they're doing, but, like, depending on the wording of the sentence, it's
Yeah.
sometimes just like, what the
Like,
fuck are they-
I've used it before when I've had people talking, or when it's like describing a scene.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just feels off to me. Sloppily mimicking her using a spoon. How do you sloppily use a spoon? Like, you see someone in front of you, put it in their hand, put it in the bowl, raise it to their mouth. How do you sloppily mimic that?
Improper grip. Let's say you just like whole fist the thing.
Okay, but see, that's the difference there though. Is he's watching her do it. This isn't like a fucking chopstick or something. This is a spoon. It goes in your hand. It doesn't move. There is no precision to it. It goes in your hand. It doesn't move.
Well, here's the thing. Instead of you saying sloppily, what the author should have used was awkwardly.
Yes,
Because
awkwardly, yes.
there are certain ways of holding utensils that are very awkward. And for someone who's never used one, like one of their first things is they're just going to grip the entire handle.
Okay, Isley, but this isn't a baby. This isn't a baby trying to figure out how to hold a spoon. This is supposedly an 8-year-old kid who was able to break into Beacon.
Yeah, who apparently has never used a spoon.
Who has apparently never used a spoon before. But he was capable of breaking into Beacon, undetected, through the electronic maglocks. And cameras, I'm assuming. I don't
You
see why
know,
they wouldn't be.
Beacon security is actually really lax, as the show has actually shown us.
That's fair enough. But they do have all the fucking doors maglocked with their scroll things.
Well, those are private rooms. I don't think the cafeteria is going to be maglocked. And I'm not sure about the front doors either. Like,
I mean, I don't see why they would
the classrooms themselves appear to have traditional locks, not maglocks.
Fair enough.
They're very inconsistent
Yeah.
with how that stuff is handled.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, and apparently he also scaled the cliff on his own. Like, I'm really curious as to how the fuck Naruto got into Beacon on the first place, because it's supposed to be on a cliff that you need a fucking bullhead to get up from. So either no one noticed an orphan getting into a bullhead that goes to Beacon, which would indicate extremely high levels of stealth, or he scaled the cliff.
Honestly, I'll believe the cliff scaling before the stealth.
Yeah. It's just... Yeah. So
well,
it's just...
Theoretically, people can freely go back and forth from the campus to Vale. So he literally could have just ended up on like a public transport and no one thought to look for the kid because of the schedule.
Okay, but last I checked, it was like a specific transport that goes to Beacon.
I'm honestly not sure. Because we were shown that transport in season 1.
I'm sure there's like I'm sure it's like a scheduled bus. It's like, this is the bus to Beacon, but
it's one of those things where we don't have enough information.
I know, but I'm basing this off of what my college did, because my college, Atin was there too. They had a bus that specifically went from Winooski to the college.
Well, yeah, but Sneaky, that's the thing. Any random schmuck could have gotten on that bus. They just would have to stand outside the apartments and then get on that bus.
That's true.
Probably the same thing.
Enough. But but at the same time though, it's like I highly doubt the bus driver would let some 50-something dressed in rags or some like 6-year-old kid get on the bus going to the campus. Like, because the bus is for students.
True, but that's a much smaller bus. Like, the bullhead was not small. The bullhead probably.
That's the thing. We don't have enough information to say one way or the other. Either way.
I can't imagine them using an Airbus for Beacon though, because there's only like what, a graduating class of 20.
Yeah, and what if family members want to just pop in to visit? Beacon is proven surprisingly laid back in allowing, and what their students get to do on, like,
sure.
days
I
off.
don't see why you can't fit your family of 4 or whatever on a bullhead or something. They have room.
Okay, but why are you wanting them to take the actual more costly route and time-consuming, having to set shit up in advance? Like the problem, Sneaky, is we don't have enough
I'm
information.
saying I don't see them using an Airbus. I see them using a bullhead as if a bus. I don't see them using a large craft like that would hold a shitload of people for a school that has not a shitload of people coming and going from it. That's like using a full city bus for 3 people a day.
And you know what? If that's the only people they pick up on their route, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna
Yes,
get paid for transporting 3 people for all of 4 minutes that day. Because that's how public routes work.
I know.
You're not, like, Sneak,
we
it's
don't,
probably
but
a
you're making
schedule.
the assumption that Vale is paying for this and not Beacon.
You're making the assumption Vale wouldn't pay for this.
Why would Vale pay for it?
Because honestly, Beacon probably cut a deal with them.
That's
Because
fair enough.
Beacon
Yeah,
is
like-
a super prestigious combat school that probably brings in a fuck ton in taxes. And if nothing else, is a giant tourist attraction. And of course,
That's
it
fair
trains
enough.
all of their huntsmen.
Yeah. And at the very least, we know they have a way to get in and out of Vale because the kids are allowed to just go into Vale.
Yeah, I know that. And
But they never tell us how. They never show us what's used. Ever. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish you guys would have spent a bit more time on this.
I wish you guys would world build more than your shitty character building of characters that no one cares about. Who knows? Maybe the coffee books that ruined Team Coffee for us will have some valuable information about how the fuck this world works. Anyway.
Hey, you know what? If they're less than $10, I might pick them up.
And then she was surprised by him discreetly adding chunks of wind dust to his cereal from his pockets. There were such things as dust-infused foods, hence why there was dust in the non-perishables in the first place. Okay, so we are going with that idea. But those were comprised of at most 3% worth of raw dust and had to be extremely carefully measured. Okay, so Nora doesn't know how to make a pancake, but can tell you the exact composition of a dust-infused food. Interesting. Oh, is that trying to say something? Hello? Are they just dead? No improvements for old man. I'm worried. Captain America Home Improvement. Yeah, sure, we'll cover that.
I hope it's just Captain America is replacing Tim
Hey,
the
you're
Toolman
back.
Taylor in every situation.
Anyway. She decided to start up a conversation. You pull any good pranks? That's, uncreative conversation starter, Sin. Like, what?
Also, you're going to ask the starving orphan child if he's pulled any good prank. No, he could be like, no, gee, I was a little more concerned with not getting caught in the hobo bum fights.
Like, what? The fuck? Anyway. 20 minutes later, and for some reason, Glinda is stalking the halls of Beacon. It was her job to make sure no students were up to late night mischief. Really, her job alone. So when the fuck does she sleep? During the day? Standing at an impressive 6'5", why do we need to know her height? Why do we need to know what she looks like? Why? Anime.
Hello? I think I
Yes,
missed
you're
my...
back.
Yeah, my internet's done shitting itself. About this height thing. One thing that's always pissed me off about this fandom is Monty gave us that height chart.
Yes.
No one accounted for the fact that some of these women wear 2 to 3 inch high heels.
Yes. No one really.
Glenda is one
accounts
of those
for that.
women.
Of course
Yeah.
they didn't.
Of course not.
They never account for it. Fuckers.
I also find it highly amusing because I don't know I don't I just I why do like I can sort of
Stop dying.
understand describing the appearances of like help me think of a book that hasn't been turned into a movie yet.
I don't know.
Pick anything
The
from the Star
Wheel
Wars
of
Expanded
Time.
Universe.
Okay, there we go. It's like describing a character from Wheel of Time. It's like, okay, I can sort of understand that. But it's like, why the fuck are you describing Naruto? Why the fuck are you describing Ruby? Why the fuck are you describing Glinda? There is an animation. Its main form is an animation with those characters visually portrayed. Why are you describing them? If you just say Glinda in her usual outfit was patrolling the halls, people will be like, I know what Ruby is because I'm reading Ruby fanfiction. I know what Glinda looks like. Okay, she's in the halls of Beacon. That's an easy mental image. Why are you taking the time to sit there and abstractly describe what the fuck she looks like? Those are bold words for someone within stabbing range.
Wait, stabbing range of who?
It's a good habit for character introduction. It's a fucking horrible habit for character introduction. It is the worst possible way to describe a character to the readers. Taking an entire fucking paragraph, I don't care if this is even in published fiction. Taking an entire fucking paragraph to be like, the character is yay high, they weigh this much, they have an athletic build with blue hair and black eyes, and their clothing is as the following, is the dumbest way you can possibly ever describe a character. Yes, exactly as Kilm said. If you describe them in pieces when it becomes relevant. They brushed the dust off of their new jacket. They tied up their boots. They brushed their hair back, the brown reflecting in the sunlight. Like, there is so many ways to describe your character without sitting there like a fucking robot and just reading the character description.
Yeah, there have only been... I think we've actually discussed how to, if you're going to describe a character, the only acceptable way is in a police report. Like,
and even then, that's a cop-out.
Yeah, but, like, I could at least accept a police report, or even, like, we're getting a call from dispatch with, like, male suspect currently wearing a red jacket, blah, blah, blah. Like, even police reports.
Like, I have actually, that, I will actually say, That way of introducing my character that I use in a fanfiction that I have since deleted. By using the police report of it specifically being like, who are we dealing with? Here's their file. Okay, let's see. Alright, okay, alright. Not the best. Way better than this bullshit because it actually made sense. J.K. Rowling, the queen of afterthought, indeed. Why aren't there any gay characters in your story? Oh, well, you see Dumbledore is gay. I just didn't write about it.
Why is nice? Holy shit.
Hermione is black. I just never said what color she was, except for the part where you did actually call her white during the Prisoner of Azkaban book line. But, you know, let's just ignore it. Also a black family named Granger. Considering the point when they mention pale skin is more of a queen of canon changing. Yeah. Let's see. This would be entirely unnecessary if Ozpin would just approve of those security cameras, but no, that would be an invasion of privacy. Not like I'm saying putting them in the room or showers, we don't have the budget for it, he says, but somehow we have enough line to fill the entire forest with hundreds of cameras instead. Respect the man she may, but she couldn't help but question his decisions, so the author is literally taking this time to have this little Glinda segment to basically be a in-story author hand wave as to how these events lined up in the first place. How is Naruto able to get in? Oh, well, you see, Glinda's ranting about how Ozpin doesn't have security cameras, even though he has 100 or so in the fucking forest. Which is a good point. That's why I assume security cameras would be in Beacon, being that he uses a shit ton in the forest for some fuck all reason. It's just like, not to mention the fact we have a comatose maiden hidden under the school that someone managed to steal half their powers from and is likely after the rest. And then she runs into Nora and a kid. Knowing she would regret it, she went into the room just as she vacated the kitchen, and there was a bowl of milk that was spilled, and a puddle. And then the non-perishable section was an absolute disaster. Oh my god, that's it. We are getting those cameras. That's the last thing it's the last thing I do. I'm tired of dealing with this shit. It's just like, this section is an author's handbook. This section is specifically for all those people who would write a review saying, what about cameras? How did Naruto get in? What about the door locks? Like, if you have the money to seed a forest with cameras, and the apparent wireless connection power to connect to those cameras onto an extra large scroll, you would theoretically and believably have the money to put locks on your doors and cameras in your hallways. And that's why I hate this first chapter. That's why I hate this second chapter. That's why I might even put this up for the next Tuesday to read as well. Because I have so much hate for this story. I want you all to experience it. Reviewers are lovely too. They want all the details and they want them all instantly. Yeah. Now, let your hate through you. Yeah. Now, I will say there are times when the author doesn't need to explain themselves. And they want to build the mystery of how this is all possible and let the details work themselves out as the chapters go and everyone finds out. Like, that's fine. But if your first chapter is going to be this huge, massive hand wave of, I can't believe any of this shit. Like, typically the build up to like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming, sort of stuff, is when you're already into the story a bit. Unless this is a crime drama. when you're already into the story a bit, so you're like, okay, I got an idea of the characters, and holy shit, I didn't see that coming. I want to find out, the information of how this all came to be. Makes sense. But if your first chapter is built upon the premise of a shitload of stuff being hand-waved, yeah, I'm gonna side with the readers on this one. Give us some fucking details on that. Because otherwise, what the fuck? I hate stories that are based on a premise of handwave. I'm more fine with handwave being used during the course of the story. Not fine with it, just more fine than the premise of the story being based on a massive handwave of, oh, yeah, don't pay attention to how any of this happened in the first place. Just look at the after effects. That's just me personally, but it's just I mean, beyond the one part where they had the characters talking in the same paragraph, the grammar's fine, the spelling's fine, the flow of the plot is relatively intact. It's not jerky in most areas besides the character description parts. Like, all around, it's a fine story, except for the parts where it comes to the characters and the plot and Naruto the fucking Pokemon. It's just why is Naruto Pokemon? This is information I actually want to know. Sweet baked dough or a chocolate slab, yeah, basically. A melted chocolate slab. Actually, yeah, you know what? I will put this into Tuesday. So, this is the Captain America Home Improvement pick.
Oh god.
Is everyone ready?
Nope.
No, but it's gonna happen anyway.
Yep. Tim and Al discover Steve Summers' frozen body while filming an episode of Tool Time. In the Arctic? Under the ocean?
Who is Steve Summers?
Captain America.
No,
it's
that's
Steve
not
Rogers.
Captain America. That's Steve Rogers, as Max just said.
Oh.
Steve Summer.
Who the fuck is Steve Summers?
Steve Summer. I don't know who Steve Summer is. The only thing that comes up from Marvel and Summers is Scott Summers. Where did you... Also, Steve Summers is apparently a director of some kind? I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's only 377 words at least. Do any other reviews point out that he doesn't know?
No.
None of them did.
Action! The cameraman called out against the howling winds. What time is it? Heidi, the lovely assistant, waved to the audience, who were literally freezing their asses off. To the metal bleachers. Tool time, they groaned in unison. It was freezing on top of the iceberg where the latest episode was being filmed. For what reason would Binford allow such a drastic change to their usual format? And here's your host, Tim the Toolman Taylor. Heidi continued. The classic Tool Time fanfare blasted through the studio speakers as Tim and his helpful aide Al Borland stepped into view. Dressed in Binford brand parkas and sporting matchmaking snowshoes, they greeted the audience before beginning the show. What the fuck? Oh ho 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 ho! Tim grunted. Welcome to Tool Time. Despite the hoeing noises, I ain't Santa. But he his. Tim pointed towards Al, whose beard had collected several snowflakes. Very funny, Tim, Al muttered, the author still unaware of how punctuation works. We're here today to demonstrate the latest Binford product. Heidi rolled out a large object hidden by a heavy sheet.
This better be like the Binford iceberg destroyer author, or I'm gonna be real mad why they're out here.
Okay, so Tool Time, Home Improvement. It was basically like, I don't want to say parody because they actually like explained how to build shit, but it was sort of like a do-it-yourself as explained by a celebrity show.
Well, no, you realize that Tool Time didn't even exist as a show, right?
Well, yeah, I'm aware. Home Improvement is the actual show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, a show inside a show. It's a meme. Yeah. Yeah, it's Home Improvement, and you know, it's do it yourself. Build shit, fix shit. Yeah. Yeah, this is specially developed for the experts. The Binford Icebreaker is one sweet ride. It looked to be a lawnmower of some sorts, except covered in drill bits. What the fuck? Just putting drills on a lawnmower will not make it an icebreaker. Tim, get down from there. You aren't certified to operate that equipment. That's what she said, Tim laughed. Oh ho 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 ho. Ho 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 ho. Ho 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 ho. He flicked a few switches and the machine began to hum with life. Heidi, we need more power, he shouted. Tim, that's not a good idea, Al bitched. More power, Tim roared. The drills spun at top speed. Frantically pulling levers, Tim eventually got the icebreaker to begin boring into the iceberg. Whoa, he laughed. The crowd gasped as Tim and the icebreaker accelerated at an amazing speed into solid ice. In an instant they were gone, as if the very earth had swallowed them whole. Tim, Al cried. A minute passed, then two. Al bent over the hole Tim had drilled. Al, you're never going to believe this. I found a guy down here.
Okay, hold on a minute. First of all, he could barely turn it on. Now you expect me to believe he was able to turn it off. Also, second of all, something that's like literally drilling through an iceberg, A, is completely stupid and impractical and wouldn't serve the function of an icebreaker, and B, you would hear that for miles.
Also, C, him stopping just in time to reveal body. And not turning Captain America into salsa.
Yeah.
And so Captain America was found. Sadly, he was turned into chunky salsa.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, so this Sinri counter gets reset to 0, and we move on. Thank you,
Yay.
Calvin, for this fic. Yeah. Alright, so no Naruto, no Ruby.
I guess that author just died.
Which one?
They haven't, the one for that home improvement thing, because they haven't updated anything since October 25th of 2010.
Interesting. Let's see. How about a Ranma High School D times D cross?
Please no.
That sounds like a yes.
That is
Why
not
did you hate
no.
us?
That is not what that is.
Are you or the other one familiar enough to cover a Hero Academia fic? I actually had just finished watching all of Hero Academia. Watching, keep in mind, not reading.
I would say we can cover up to where the anime is.
I can cover a bit past that, but that's because I...
So you'll all be happy to know we won't be doing an in-depth read of this fic. The bad news is, the reason why we won't be doing an in-depth read of this fic is because it's a giant fucking wall of text!
Huh. No, there's spacing between the paragraphs, but only just. There was like no dialogue in this.
Yes. Remember that one story that was like, this is a no dialogue fic?
Yeah, I remember that. Why'd you have to remind me of that?
Because I exist solely to make you suffer, Max.
Fuck you.
I'll believe it.
I found a story with Bakugo and Sophia Hess. Yeah. He kind of wouldn't follow. Because, like, the thing is, that as bad as Bakugo is, he still actually wants to be a hero. And, like, save people and shit.
Like,
Oh,
for
yeah.
crying out loud,
Baku-
the entire
Baku-
arc where the villains try to recruit him, he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, Bakugo's actually a great character, and like his character, at this point, I'm pretty sure that this is not a story of how Deku became the world's greatest hero. It's a story of how Deku and his rival rose to the top.
Yeah.
And the author's just lying to us. Because their
No,
character
let's
arcs
be
are
clear.
fantastic.
It's the story of how Deku and his entire class became the greatest heroes ever.
Yeah, but
Through the
like,
powers
'cause,
of Nakama!
oh god, like, yeah. I'm
Okay,
surprised the
no,
authors
look,
have
so-
been able to keep this interesting.
The
as
way the
possible.
author has been angling this, as a person who has not read it, this is what I'm saying now. The way the author has been angling My Hero Academia is basically they're aiming to be like, oh yeah, he actually became the greatest hero ever. He became totally the greatest hero. He didn't. I'm calling it now. Deku doesn't actually become the greatest hero ever by means of actually being, you know, like All Might
All Might.
style of I'm gonna save everyone. Deku is going to be known as the greatest hero ever because he encouraged all of the other heroes around him to be better.
I can tell you now, I'm 85% certain you're wrong with the way that things have been shaping up.
85% isn't 0%.
No, 85% is 85%. If I was 0% certain, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
If it's not 0%, it's 100%. Thank you, Simon, for your inspirational quotes. Anyway, so let's get on with this.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Don't worry about it. It's just blood.
Oh, now I'm worried.
Being the son of Genma Satome is hard enough. But throw in the devil herself as your mother and you have Ranma Citri's headache. Fucking shoot me. 400 favorites. 442 people read this story and said, damn, this is good. Fucking shoot me. Sin number 1. Oh, that's yeah, the pagoda. That's a really good fic.
You know what? Now I just want to see Bakugo in Worm to put Sophia in her place, because dear Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's ideals and his leaning towards violence.
Well, because
pretty
it's
sure.
funny because he's just literally a better version of Sophia than Sophia is.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Like, he very much is, yes. It's like, nah, I have no problem with violence, but the shit that you, but like, even I draw lines.
Yeah. How is a half human, half devil supposed to become the greatest martial artist in the universe with a family like his? A. Sarah Fall is your mother. That's another sin. But A. Sarah Fall is your mother. B. You already kind of became the greatest martial artist by the end of your fic. So, asking that sort of question to the audience after the story itself has finished and it showed exactly how Ranma became the greatest martial artist in the world, it's kind of really hard for people who really liked Ranma to suspend their disbelief at how could Ranma possibly overcome this situation?
Indeed.
It's like shit. What would be a good example?
Mm-hmm.
It's Lord of the Rings. We all know how Lord of the Rings ends. Oh, but Frodo now has Jedi powers. How could he possibly destroy the ring?
Significantly easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know, probably way fucking easier now that he has Jedi powers. Since we already know he does in fact manage to destroy the ring.
Yeah. That is far too apt an analogy.
Yeah. How is this hero, who we all know who succeeds and how they succeed, supposed to succeed now that they have even more power? What kind of fucking question is that? Like, actually? What kind of fucking question is that? Like, I just... wall of text about Seraphal and how she's being super serious and how she's a mother now and blah blah blah. She was super hot and she has a son and it caused a massive uproar, but actually nothing changed at all. So don't worry about the rails of canon.
Yay.
Normally, pregnancy would cause an uproar if the devil was an adulteress and the child was a result of infidelity. However, that wasn't the case for Seraphal. Her betrothed had died centuries ago during the Great War, and blah 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 blah. She fucked a human. Blah blah blah. Walls of text. Blah 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 blah. Her one-night stand partner wasn't a pure human by only the merest of technicalities. He was actually the distant ancestor from the Sengoku Jedi and was a Hanyo who sealed her Yokai blood away to trap an enemy.
Okay, so first of all, he just horribly botched Sengoku Jedi, but, we'll ignore that.
Getting utterly drunk at a seedy human bar to blow off steam because her parents had been nagging at her to get a husband was not the smartest idea she had. Bad news was she ended up sleeping with a pudgy martial artist. Even worse news, she got pregnant. However, the good news as far as Seraphol was concerned was that she had an adorable son, Ranma. Oh wow, what a reveal. We were all so shocked by this reveal. Blah blah blah, wanted to name him Leviathan, but everyone was outraged by that, and blah blah blah, resulted in a law being passed that prevented Satans from making the position hereditary. And how exactly are you going to enforce that? Being that the Satans are the leaders of the devils because they are the strongest devils. How exactly are you going
Like,
to enforce
not making it
laws?
hereditary is just a dumb formality. Like, sure, maybe once every few hundred years someone will get lucky and beat one, but...
Well, I mean, it's not only that. It's like devils live for thousands of years. I don't think it being hereditary is going to be a fucking issue. Because if, say, unless you're planning on having one of them assassinated, of course. But barring that, the strongest devil dying to assassination attempts, which I'm sure happen all the time against them, being that devils.
Of course, you know, they have to succeed.
Yeah. So, barring that, what's the problem with making it hereditary exactly? Because I don't quite see the problem here. Either they have a kid, and then several thousand years later, when they eventually die, give up, or get killed, the kid's now also several thousand years old and is probably strong enough, being that they are the child of this person, and were probably trained by this person, and probably had numerous assassination attempts on them throughout their whole lives, of several thousand years, I might add. They probably would still qualify as the strongest fucking devil and still get that position anyway. So we're talking about a very specific set of circumstances in which the devil, that is the strongest of the four strongest devils, gets killed early after having a child. At which point the trial probably wouldn't be able to assume the position anyway, so someone else would take it over regardless. So I still don't see the problem. Like, either the kid's strong enough probably anyway to take the position regardless of it being hereditary or not, or the kid's not old enough to take the fucking position regardless of it being hereditary or not. Like, there is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percentage of a situation that could arise where the kid is old enough, not powerful enough, and their parent is killed, making them eligible to take the position by hereditary standards. I just... It's another one of those things where it's just like... What? And not only that, these are devils who put a lot of oomph on blood and purity and strength and etc. So, and on top of that, several of the older clans of those devil positions, there is a Leviathan clan, there is already a, what's Sarzek's position? You too?
I don't know. Mate, I dropped High School
Lucifer.
TXT on its ass.
Lucifer. There is already a Lucifer clan. There is people still in that clan. There's people in the Leviathan clan. Like, And those two people want to become the Lucifer and the Leviathan. Like, I just don't understand it. The author makes no sense to me. But anyway, I'm dying here. Thankfully, we only have 30 more minutes of this. The aristocratic faction, that's not a faction. The complaints over the issue, blah blah blah. The conclave of pillars without them even realizing it. I don't think that's a thing, and I don't think they would do that, but whatever. Besides, Ranma rarely used his real name and referred to himself as Ranma Satome, so he's aware of his mother, another sin. When he was among mortals, it was irritating for Seraphol that Ranma preferred to spend his time on Earth instead of the underworld. At least Sonatan stayed put and blah blah blah. She's protecting her. Ward Kuo. Blah blah blah. Ranma kept moving around like a vagrant, learning martial arts. The fact that Ranma also had a knack for finding trouble, or the trouble found him. Bless it, last time she tried to have one of her friends watch Ranma for a day, he ended up getting mixed up in state secrets, so it made this even more nerve-wracking for Sarah. Oh no, a devil that now knows state secrets. That's such a horrible thing for a devil to know. Wait, like, what's the complaint there? What made things even more nerve-wracking was that Ranma only had a single servant in his peerage, and it was a pawn. Ranma has
Sounds
a
about right
peerage.
for Ranma.
I mean, yes, it sounds about right, but Ranma having a peerage.
Yeah, no, like if he's forced to have one, he's only gonna have a single one. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he'd just be like, nah, fuck that.
Yes. Isn't Issei rival a member of the Satan clan? Yeah, he's part of the Lucifer clan, but yeah, he was sort of like exiled over being half human or some shit. But it doesn't change the fact that he kind of wants to like become the strongest. What do you want? There is no Lucifer clan. I mean, not anymore. There was. I don't get it. No, I probably don't. They were murder fucked. Yes. Yeah, that's what I said. There was. They're dead now. Never yet. I'm not even gonna bother. Anyway. Ryu Kumon. Is that guy from Street Fighter? Max? Ryu Kumon?
I don't think so.
Ryu Kumon?
Ryu doesn't have a last name, I don't think. No, he's from Ranma apparently.
Okay. Oh!
I don't recognize this guy.
A master of the Yanma Senken, a deadly fighting style created by Genma. Driven, manly, ruthless. Including pretending to be Ranma, attempting to rip out Ranma's heart.
What the fuck?
Torturing, and briefly considered torturing Nodoka. The deaths of his parents turned him cold, militaristic, and independent, preferring killing to stunning strikes. Ryoga Kontatsu, the only series that are at least as miserable as himself. However, his word is his bond. He was touched, blah blah blah. Okay. So, random character. Encountered Genma. Found out about the financial problems. He gave Ryu's father a scroll containing techniques of the deadly secret art of the Yanma Senken. This led Ryu's father to believe he could use the techniques to restore the dojo, but when he practiced its attacks indoors, he destroyed the building, causing it to kill him. Last moments, he gave Ryu the scroll and told him to find the scroll containing its companion, Umi Senken. Since then, Ryu has traveled alone, searching for Genma. So the one time Genma did something nice for someone, it killed them.
Oh. Sucks to be that kid.
Yo, this is supposed to be a shonen? Yeah, man. Ranma was like the OG shonen.
There's a lot of OG shonens. When was Ranma made? Was it
Huh?
late 90s?
86?
First,
96.
First aired
No,
in
87.
87.
Sorry, 87.
It ended in 96. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, it was one of the OG. Meme Physics Psychosis is the story that Cruel Rune wrote. We covered a chapter of it on here. It was a Naruto Ruby Cross, and I believe I told him that his story seemed to have a lot of boring shit at the start, and it kind of turned me off of it. Because he was trying to jam a lot of information in as to why and how Naruto was ending up in Ruby, but it was like a lot of shit that just made me fall asleep. And yeah. But a lot of people liked it.
Oh, that's cool.
What?
Oh, Ranma 1/2 got the HD treatment and now has 3 sets on Blu-ray and the OVA and movie as well. Oh, sorry. Oh, Christ. How many sets are there?
I mean, it went for like
7.
9
Okay,
years.
the highest one I'm seeing is 7, and the runtime on the first one is 530 minutes, so nearly 10 hours, presumably on each set.
Yeah.
Christ.
I mean, dude, it released a chapter every single week for 9 years. UC also got the HD treatment. Cool.
I actually would not mind getting the full TV series, but
And blah blah blah.
that'll have to be in chunks.
He was super strong. Thanks to years of training, he was really strong and could probably fight a lot of people. If Seraphal just wanted Ranma to have more protection. Seraphal looked at a folder on her desk, giving initial recon of the town Ranma was currently in. Was it really too much to ask for a son to listen to her? As soon as Seraphal had thought that, she got the distinct feeling her parents were laughing at her. Yep, as the saying goes, kids are every parent's vengeance on their own. Basically, all your parents will be laughing at you when you get a kid yourself and you start complaining to them about the things your kid is doing, because there's almost a guarantee that you did that exact same shit.
Yep.
Blah 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 blah. Ranma and Ryu were given a abrupt wake up. Holy water. Both devils screamed in fury and pain as they felt holy water burning them.
Did holy water work on them in DXD?
Yes.
Huh.
I mean, just like crosses and shit worked on them, so I'm assuming holy water did. I didn't read too much.
Kilm can confirm, right? Oh, he's left to right.
Indeed. Anyway, so
Okay. Well,
blah blah
answer the
blah.
question then, Kilm, since you're still here.
Generic. Ranma had taken and pushed.
Oh, yep, the Exorcist used it apparently.
Yep.
Thank you, Kilm.
So Ranma and Ryu took their limits and pushed them past to take the Satome Anything Goes school into the Infernal Anything Goes school. Oh wow, that's so clever.
Yeah.
Marked at birth to take place as the Grandmaster, blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah, these characters are gonna be super powerful and I'm telling you about that right now. Blah 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 blah. And then they met Seraphal and they found out that Seraphal was pregnant with Ranma and he was like, whoa! And so then Genma took care of Ranma and agreed to make him very strong to protect him from Seraphal's enemies. And also marriage contracts.
Yes, of course. Not silly of us to forget that.
Also, Genma's a taskmaster and made them train a lot and made them train very hard. Genma got lots of money from the Citri clan, but he refused to use any of that money because he thought it was cursed. So that's why they're roaming as vagabonds, because he refused to be using money that a devil gave him, because she gave birth to his child. Yes. For some reason, Genma is not lazy.
I don't know what the reasoning here is, but he was ridiculously lazy in the series because he was just that fucking strong at that point. Like,
No, he was actually like weaker than Ranma at the start.
they were about equal, I think, at the start.
Well, at the start they were sort of equal, but Ranma was already edging out victories. That's how the whole spring accident happened in the first place. Is because Ranma was already edging victories out on him.
But no, like he's just that strong of a human being.
Oh, yeah,
like
fair enough,
there's not much that will get him going now at this point, aside from girls and money. So.
Blah blah blah. They're doing the devil thing to gain power by doing contracts for clients. Blah blah blah. Genma's resistance training is paying off. We're becoming resistant to full-on baptismal holy water. Blessed by a bishop or a fanatical priest.
That's very specific.
Well, basically, he's like, there was a lot of faith in this holy water. And, like, so basically the author is trying to set it up to be like, down the line, they're going to use holy water on the two, and the two are going to be like, ha! You know, Genma's resistance training paid off. Holy water doesn't weaken us.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm easily seeing that, but
This is literally the author wanted to write a raffle stomp and is actually kind of like failing at it. I'm gonna give that a couple cents because that's just It's just so predictably dumb.
Yeah.
What? They gained a lot of power from becoming devils, but now they have a weakness. Well, we can't let Ranma have a weakness. It's not like Ranma ever has weaknesses. This is like one of those moments that I really want to have a streaming webcam, just so I can look at it and you can all see how deadpan my face is right now.
I can imagine it.
Anyway, blah 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 blah. So they did literally years of client contracts. Blah blah blah. They have lots of training and client contracts, and so they're getting really strong, even though they're just kids. And blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Oh wow, they saw Ryuga. Oh, I'm sensing another peerage member.
Uh-huh.
Blah blah blah. We should recruit him because he can teleport without anyone noticing. Blah 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 blah. Looks like Ryoga's back. Blah blah blah. He just gets lost all the time. Blah 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 blah. Let's look for Ryoga. Blah blah blah. I bet Ryoga has a sacred gear to explain the teleportation. Blah 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 blah. Oh wow, look at that. I actually have information based on a sacred gear that allows the user to teleport. The last known user of this sacred gear was in the 1500s.
This is just straight up now crossing into Inuyasha territory.
Yes.
Fucking Christ.
Blah 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 blah. Really pointless shit stuff. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. They're stalking Ryoga. Blah 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 blah. Apparently, Sayorg?
Where is it? So, what the fuck?
It's a canon D times D character who's like really strong during the peerage fight arc. The game rating arc or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, that's
and apparently he's Ranma's rival.
Cause that makes
Why not?
sense.
Last month, Ryu took down all of Sona's peerage in a spar. Isn't like but like Ranma's like 10 right now. Or something. Because like Ryoga had been following him for a couple years before he hit the spring. And then eventually found Ranma again. Like does Sona even have a peerage at this point? What is his fucking timeline?
No anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, blah 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 blah. The fact that the devil race is an offshoot of humanity was a well-hidden secret. I can't confirm any of the following information because I don't follow D times D anymore. Lucifer, Beelzebub, Leviathan, and Asmodeus were seraphim who fled heaven out of jealousy because humanity was created. Somehow, as Ranma learned, the four former angels transformed their powers into dark-based powers and became the first devils. Then they formed alliance with descendants of Cain, and through rituals transformed them into devils. So those were the first 72 men who became the pillars of devilhood. So this is so we went over a story about Naruto the Pokemon. And then now we're currently on a story in which Ranma, at age 11, is super strong, has the powers of the devil, is resistant to holy water because of Genma's training, and apparently has also learned forbidden information that humanity is actually the forefathers of the devil species. By the by, that's all fan. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Good to have confirmation, I guess.
So I'm gonna add like that many sins for that.
Okay.
I'm gonna test Ryoga using a semicolon in dialogue sin. Ryoga was happy. He was able to get to school 2 days in a row. Then Rama took his bread. And, do you know what I've suffered to get that bread? Nope, I don't care. However, give me a good spar and you get your bread. Thank you for accepting my offer, Ryoga. Defend yourself. Blah blah blah. Ranma's personal storage space. Ranma has hammer space at the age of 10.
Sure.
Okay.
Why
not? Also, Ryoga, like, knowing martial arts. I mean, there's a difference between knowing martial arts and being really good at martial arts. And, like, from what I remember, they were both, like, middling back then. And, like, Ryoga didn't really get into it until he, like, decided to chase after Ranma in revenge for the bread stealing.
Yeah. Aren't you suggesting that you tape a brick to the counter?
How about I
Sit there.
just do this, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I'll just keep it like that so everyone can have an this is my true opinion on this story right now. Yeah, it seems about right. Blah blah blah. The two fighters weren't even by a long shot. Ranma's raffle stomping him. Blah blah blah. And then Ryoga, who hadn't even done the strength training yet, was apparently strong enough to bend metal at a 90-degree angle. And, blah, 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 give me a good spar. Ryoga, I have a trinket for you. It's something my family likes to hand out to those who are worthy. Ranma held a flyer out to him. It is said that if you receive one of these flyers and have a wish you really want, the flyer will provide you a means to fulfill that wish. Ryoga looked at the flyer and looked at Ranma. He had a questioning look on his face as he inquired, "Why are you giving this to me? Don't you want your wish fulfilled?" "It doesn't work like that. A member of my mother's clan made this flyer, so it won't fulfill any of my wishes. Distributing these flyers is a side business for most of my mother's family, and I help out now and then. If you want the possibility of a wish being granted, the flyer is yours." Ryoga took the flyer from Ranma. Oh boy! I wonder what happens! Just kidding, I don't at all.
Good.
It's probably gonna be shit and it's gonna be stupid. Now, here comes the real question. With the sin counter the way it being right now, do we really want to read this again? Or do we want to touch this on some future Tuesday, chapter 2? Or do we just want to move on? Ignore it.
I can you stomach the second chapter of this?
I mean, if I'm healthier, probably, yeah.
If you want to put it on, you're welcome to it.
Alright.
I don't know what's happened to Atin, though. He appears to have died.
Well, it's okay, because, this show's over. And we are at, nearly precisely, the 2-hour mark. And so, we're gonna be doing some wrapping up here. And, then we're gonna be ending.
Yep.
So the total sins for tonight are going to be something around, I'm going to say around that much. That sounds like a good number for tonight. Yeah. So, I don't know, I don't think I have too much to talk about here tonight, this night. I mean, we saw shit fanfiction. We read shit fanfiction. We saw mildly okay fanfiction. We read the mildly okay fanfiction. We saw a drabble. We read the drabble. In the interest of possible recommendations for future streams, do either of you know enough about Banner Saga? I know that Banner Saga was apparently enough of a hit to make 3 games for it. That's about it. Yeah, in the future, though, if anyone has anything they want us to cover on the stream, barring us actually knowing the material we're covering, we'll cover it.
Yeah.
This was a surprisingly productive stream. I mean, aren't every stream I do surprisingly productive?
Nope.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm here to keep you in line after all. Even if I massively fail most of the time.
You do. You do. Alright, well, that should about wrap it all up. Is there anything else I want to say for tonight? Not much I want to talk about, no. So I'll leave you all to it. And sayonara, guten...
Yeah?
Guten Tag? No, Guten Tag is good afternoon, is it?
God, I can't remember. I know Guten Morgen's good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tag is afternoon. I think Nacht is night.
Yeah, good Nacht, everyone. Guten Nacht. Indeed. So I shall leave you all with that. And as always, you can find us here every single Tuesday and Friday, barring deaths, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on the U.S. coastline. From 7 to 9. Yeah, that's about it. So, I'll see you all next time on next Friday. And remember, there's always more and it always gets worse.